Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, my dear students. This is Mr. Nabil Adam from Al-Mbarkiya Secondary School. Today, I'm going to present a recorded lesson for grade 11. This is the recorded number 3 for grade 11. You are going to answer progress test 3 on workbook. Please open your workbook, page number 66. This is what we are going to do today. We are going to answer some exercises concerning what we have studied in Module 3, Unit 7, Unit 8, and Unit 9. We are going to read a new passage for comprehension. We are going to revise the grammatical point we have studied in the 3 units and the new vocabulary. Okay. First, I'm going to ask you some questions about this topic. It's video conferencing. What is video conferencing and why is it important nowadays? Video conferencing, it's a method of working which lets 2 or more people in different places to see and hear each other at the same time. Why is it important nowadays? It allows people to share documents on the computers, such as internet pages and software. This is what happens now during the COVID-19 epidemic. Here we are studying online, we have distance learning, so we can have a video conferencing through the Teams application or through the Zoom application or any other social medias. So video conferencing helps us to share documents, to communicate through the internet. In what situations or in which situations can video conferencing be used? Video conferencing can be used in different situations. Give me examples. It can be used in business, in schools, in colleges, in universities. So it can be used in education and business. Explain how video conferencing can benefit schools. It can benefit schools by inviting guest speakers and experts to talk to students. So we can have a video conferencing by inviting guests who can speak to students from a distance, and they can talk to them. Students can ask them questions. They can ask and answer questions and discuss things to each other, although they are far away. So this is the topic today. We are going to read a passage about what? About video conferencing. What is video conferencing? You are going to read this passage and choose the correct answer from one of the 2 words in each line. Choose the correct word in each line of this article about video conferencing. You have to circle and then write the word you have chosen in the space at the end of the line. Here we are revising. We are revising what? We are revising prepositions. We are revising adverbs. We are revising conjunctions. We are revising verbs, etc. So you have to choose the correct word from 2. Let's read the sentence by sentence. Video conferencing is a method of working or to working. Video conferencing is a method of working which lets 2 or more people in different or on different places. The right answer, in different places. Okay, and see and hear each other at the same time. So this is the definition of video conferencing, as well as allowing people to talk or off talk, to talk, yes, to talk and listen to each other. It is also possible to share documents on the computer or their computers. Here, plural, their computers, such as internet pages and software. Video conferencing technology, here technology is singular or plural? It's singular noun. Has been or have been? Has been used in business situations several years. For several years or since several years. We have here a period of time. If we have a period of time, we use for. But it is also used by different or in different ways. In different ways. In schools, colleges, and universities. Video conferencing can be used or using. Here this is passive. We use the past participle of the verb. It can be used as a teaching method by teachers, or can be used for let or to let. We have infinitive here, so we use to let guest speakers or experts in other countries or cities to talk at pupils or to pupils and students. Because the technology allows two-way communication, pupils and students, or of students, pupils and students can ask and answer questions, and can discuss things to each other or with each other, Video conferencing also allows groups of students at different parts or in different parts of a country, in different parts. We are talking about place of a different country or in different countries to work in projects or on projects, work on projects together. This is more cheaper or much cheaper. This comparative adjective with er, so we cannot use more because it's a short adjective. We use more with long adjective. So this is much cheaper and easier than organizing real visits. A video conferencing system needs basic equipment, any or some. We use some in positive sentence and any in negative answer question. So a video conferencing system needs some basic equipment, a screen monitor. A screen and a monitor are the same. So a screen or monitor, a camera, a microphone, and a speaker. Communication can take place. Why do we use take here? Because after modal verbs can, we use infinitive without ing. So can take place during or using an internet connection. Please read the text here to get the main idea, because you are going to answer some comprehension question about video conferencing. I let you read. You can pause the video, read the passage again, so that you can be ready to answer the next questions. Here, the second exercise here, complete the sentence with words from the article. You are going to complete the sentence by choosing 2 words or 3 words. The number of words you need to write is given in brackets here. 2 words, 2 words, 2 words. A, people can on their computers as well as talk to each other. What can people do on their computers? People can share documents. All experts can use video conferencing to talk to students and pupils in schools. Who can use video conferencing? Guest speakers. Video conferencing is a process, which means the students can ask their teachers questions. So what's a video conferencing? It's a two-way process. It means students can ask teachers and teachers can ask them questions. Now, the third exercise here, you are going to summarize how video conferencing can benefit schools. What are the benefits of video conferencing for students at schools? You have to write 3 sentences. Okay? The students can see and hear each other at the same time. The students and teachers can share ideas. They can share documents. Guest speakers can be invited to teach and benefit students. So this is a summary for the benefits or the main benefits of video conferencing to schools. Now let's move to grammar. Grammar, language practice here. Expand the sentence by using a relative clause and the information in brackets. You are going to write a complete and compound sentence by using what? By using relative pronoun like who, whom, whose, which, that, where, when. It depends on the repeated word or the pronoun. Video conferencing lets people talk to each other face to face, often miles away. Miles apart, often miles apart. Who are living miles apart? People here. So you are going to join the 2 sentences by using the relative pronoun to make an extended sentence. Video conferencing lets people who are often miles apart talk to each other face to face. Don't forget to put a comma before the relative clause who and apart we put another comma, because this is what, this is an extra information. You can delete it. Video conferencing lets people who. Why do you use who? We use the who for people. Video conferencing is a cheap and easy way of communicating, can be used in business or education. What can be used in business or education? Video conferencing. So video conferencing is a thing. We use which or that. Video conferencing, which can be used in business or education, is a cheap and easy way of communicating. I remind you again, we should use the second sentence after the relative pronoun. So video conferencing, which we use the second sentence and then we go back to the first sentence. My dad has a special meeting room for video conferencing. His office is in Kuwait City. Whose office? My dad's. So my dad, whose office? Here we use whose for possessive pronoun or position. And here the meeting room is in his office. So the right answer, my dad's office. Which here for office is a place. My dad's office, which is in Kuwait City, has a special meeting room for video conference. In schools, headmasters should invest in the latest technology for their students. Decent funding is provided. Decent funding, here we are talking about the funding for the schools or the headmasters. So schools which have decent funding should invest in the latest technology for their students. Now, next sentence here, next exercise, you are going to change the sentence from active into passive. Rewrite these sentences using passive verbs. We are going to change focus. Here we start with the object instead of the subject. Companies are selling thousands of computers every day on the internet. Companies is the subject. Now, where is the object? Thousands of computers. We begin with thousands of computers. Look at the verb here. Are selling. Are selling present continuous. Am is ing. So when we change into passive, we use being. Am is are plus being plus past participle. So the right answer, thousands of computers are being sold. Still sold every day on the internet. Computers have made our lives a lot easier. Computers is the subject and our lives is the object. Have made here present perfect. Present perfect have or has plus past participle. When we change it into passive, we use have been or has been plus past participle. So the right answer, our lives have been made a lot easier by computers. People are downloading more and more programs from the internet. We begin with more and more programs. This is the object. Are downloading, again, present continuous. So we use am is are plus being plus past participle. More and more programs are being downloaded. Don't forget to add ed, downloaded from the internet. In the past, people didn't pay for some of these downloads. This is a difficult sentence. You have to think about it. Here, people is the subject. Some of these downloads is the object. We begin with some of these downloads. Here, did not pay. Did not pay. This is what? What tense is it? It's past simple, but it's in the negative. When we change into passive, we do not use do not or does not or did not. Don't use don't, doesn't, didn't in passive. What do we use? We use isn't or aren't or wasn't or weren't. So we note here, we begin with some of these downloaded. Here, the verb did not pay, this is what? This past. So we use was or were. Some of these downloads were, and the negative weren't paid. Paid. We change paid is an irregular verb. We change it into a regular pay, A-P-A-I-D without E. In the past, some of these downloads weren't paid for by people. Next exercise here is this vocabulary exercise. We are revising what? We are revising the difference between somebody, nobody, anybody. We are revising the difference between an hour and a minute. We are revising the difference between collective nouns, audience, and crew. We are revising the difference between radio station and space station. We are revising between teletext and telescope. Here, telecommunication. So tele means from a distance. Now you are going to choose the correct word in these sentences to complete them. When the phone rang, I thought it was my sister, but it was else. It was nobody else, somebody else. This is a positive sentence. So the right answer is somebody else. We use nobody in negative meaning without not. There are 60 seconds, 60 seconds in an hour or in a minute. Of course, there are 60 seconds in a minute. But in an hour, there are 60 minutes in an hour. It was a long flight, but they looked after us very well. Who looked us after after us on the plane or on board? The audience or the crew? We are talking about the air host and the air hostess, the captain or the pilot. So who looked after us? The crew. Crew means the crew. To find out what is happening in your area, listen to your local radio station or space station to listen to what you find out what is happening in your area. You listen to the news. The news is on the radio. You can see the surface of the moon very clearly through a telescope. A telescope. The right answer, telescope. So we use a telescope to see far away objects. Next exercise here, we are revising the phrasal verb get plus preposition. Get behind, get down to, get on, get over, get through, get up. You have to know the different meanings of phrasal verb with get. It's very important so that you can choose the correct word to complete the sentence. There is one extra word. So these are 5 sentences and 6 words. We should work straight away. We've got a lot to do. So you should start working. Start working. Another word, get down to. Get down to, it means to start. I hope I this cold before my holiday, next holiday. A cold is a disease or an illness. So you get over. Get over, it means recover or become well. I went to bed very late last night. That's why I didn't at the usual time this morning. What do you do in the morning? Get up. They really well with most of their colleagues. With your colleagues, you have to get what? Get on. Get on with or get on. It means to have a good relationship with your friends or your classmates or your colleagues. I tried to phone several times yesterday, but I couldn't get through. Get through. Get through, it means to phone or to communicate or to contact with someone through the mobile phones or through the internet or any other social media applications. Now here we are revising some language functions for agreeing and disagreeing. How can you express your agreeing? You can say, I agree, I do, I agree with you 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. That's so true. That's for sure. That's exactly how I feel. I feel the same way. For disagreeing, you can say, I disagree. I don't think so. I'm afraid. I disagree. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Not necessarily. That's not always true. That's not always the case. So these are the expressions for agreeing and disagreeing. This is what we are going to use in the next exercise. You are having a classroom discussion about the pros and cons of video conferencing. What are the pros and cons of video conferencing? What are the advantages and disadvantages of video conferencing? This is what you are going to present. How would you respond in these situations? Here, you disagree and have another opinion. If you disagree and have another opinion, what do you say? I disagree. In my view, in my point of view, in my opinion, video conferencing is a useful tool to meet people overseas or online. You found what they said interesting, but think something else. What would you say? That's a good point, but don't think it is better to apply it in education. Don't you think it is better to apply it in education? You don't understand their point. What do you say? Sorry, I didn't get your point. I'm sorry, I didn't get your point. Can you say that again? Now let's go to writing exercise. Describe something that belongs to someone in your family. Choose an item of clothing or jewelry, for example, a hat, a scarf, a jacket, or a ring. Write a paragraph of 170 or to 200 words. Say whom it belongs to. This is a hat or a scarf, a jacket, a jewelry, a ring. It belongs to my father, my sister, my brother. Describe when the person wears it. So describe it and describe when your friend or brother, father, or sister likes to wear it. Describe what it looks like. Describe it. Include its size. Talk about its size. Talk about its shape. Talk about its color. Talk about its value. So I let you write what? Write a report or write a paragraph describing the item or the thing that your brother or sister or father has. Okay, and describe it, talk about it, and talk about the time he likes wearing it. Okay, now start writing. You can send your report or your paragraph to me through the WhatsApp to check and present it in front of the class in the next period, inshallah. Okay, I'll give you here a model of writing. My old brother has got many computers that can store data and make different kinds of operations. It is very tiny but easy to use. He can just insert the number of his credit card and order things that he wants without going online. That computer can give him a ring to remind him of the important dates. He can get in touch with relatives, friends, and business colleagues as soon as he mentions the name he wants to talk to. This magic device can convert oral messages into written texts. This waterproof mini computer can be folded and spread the way you like. It is a little bit expensive, but can meet your needs. I advise you to buy it as soon as possible because it can make your lives easier. So this is what this conclusion recommendation advising my friend to buy a similar one. Okay. Now, exercise 2, make up sentences with the following words using active verbs and change them into the passive form. يعني مطلوب منك تضع هذه الكلمات في جمل مبني معلوم، يعني فعل مبني معلوم، وبعد كده تحول هذه الجملة من active إلى passive، تحولها من مبني معلوم إلى مبني مجهول. راديو سيجنال، راديو سيجنال إشارة لاسلكية أو إشارة راديو، حطها في جملة وبعد كده حولها لباسيف. They use radio signals to carry radio broadcasts. Now, begin with radio signals. Use this present simple. Radio signals are used to carry radio broadcasts. Okay. Short distance, مسافة قصيرة. They carried messages for short distances only. Begin with messages. Messages were carried for short distances only. Telescope. Scientists use telescopes to observe distant objects. Begin with telescopes. Telescopes are used to observe distant objects. Director, المخرج. Adobe directors help you create compelling interactive games. Adobe, like PDF. Begin with you. You are helped to create compelling interactive games by Adobe directors. Customer. Successful companies get feedback from the customers. Begin with feedback. Feedback is got from the customers by successful companies. That's the end of our recorded lesson. I hope you enjoyed watching this lesson. Please, before ending, I'm going to you are going to give your feedback. What you have learned from the module 3, what you didn't learn, what you find easy, what you find difficult. Read these questions and give me your point of view by ticking easy, difficult, useful, not useful, interesting, or not interesting, and put a tick next to next to each box. Read the question and you have to tick. Give me your point of view concerning the difficult points or the easy points, the things which you find interesting or not interesting. I hope you enjoyed watching the lesson. Until we meet again, thank you and goodbye. This is Mr. Rabil Adam from Al Mbarkiya Secondary School.